My name is Akinola Pedro, and I am from Washington, D.C.
Why don't you come my way anymore?
Well, I think when I was a king called Pedro, I was more confined to the hip-hop persona. And obviously, just based off the name itself, it's a moniker. So I think with me making the decision to change my name and go with my birth name, it made me break out of that mold and that box to be able to be more expressive. So I would say that the difference between a king called Pedro and Akinola Pedro is I feel like I make more music that comes from the soul. So if there's any way to describe the music itself, it would be soul music. My top favorite musical influences, Michael Jackson, Janelle Monáe, Kendrick Lamar, Lupe Fiasco, and Esperanza Spalding. I was taken to an open mic night, and I got to see like singer-songwriters just perform, whether it was acoustics or just, a cappella and stuff like that. And it blew me out the water because I always thought I was like great at what I do in terms of music. But yeah, I think being in Los Angeles made me hustle more, which made me have to work harder, 10 times harder on my craft. I would say in regards to film, because I'm a big film head, Christopher Nolan, his movies have pretty much inspired a lot of my work. He's very innovative. I think what hip hop is missing in this day and age is more hip hop musical bands. And when I mean musical bands, I mean people who play instruments, I think we only have kind of like the roots, and I wouldn't consider the internet in that same spot, but yeah, the internet, we can throw the internet in there, and we need more of that. So I think with the genre that never was, that was the purpose. Plus, it's just like, I want to make sure that we're making genre-defined music and not be confined to a box. Genreless.
I just wanna let this shit go.
The reception's been great. I think Area is a track that kind of like has pushed the project further than it should have gone. When I started the idea with my homie, the 22 Fall, it was just, we were just kind of like having fun with it, we just wanted to just try a different direction of me not spearheading a project and letting the producer just do whatever he has in mind. So the fact that it grew into something like that and to a whole world is really dope. Tatooine as well, like a lot of people don't even know, is based off it's a concept of the good, the bad, and ugly. And I'm telling the story from a perspective of how I first got my recognition in music, to me having, I guess, label issues, to me trying to make the conscious decision of leaving that situation and doing something that betters my career. This is a good question. This is a great question. So I've been supporting Arsenal since 2006. So I think literally the summer after losing the Champions League final, I think that's when I became a supporter. What makes Arsenal and I guess the correlation in terms of the music, my music, and the way Arsenal, I guess, is branded and how they play, I think it's more so, I kind of credit that to Arsene Wenger. I think he was an innovator, and his style of playing football was just beautiful. It was super creative, and I think for me, I admire people who are innovative in anything they do. And I think when he came to the Premier League in the 90s, I think he really pushed the culture of football forward, and that's what I try to do with my music. I am currently working on a new body of work. I won't shed too much light on it, but I was able to go home the past summer, and I got to experience it for the first time as technically an outsider, even though being from Washington, D.C. is a whole, it's a whole culture in itself. So it's been inspiring me to make music about the city and dealing with certain issues and talking about certain cultures in Washington, D.C. Yeah, when it comes to creating a body of work, I always have to have a concept. I think Tatooine is kind of technically an example of me starting off with no concept. We were just having fun with it, and it just builds into something that I create this whole new world from it, and I think that's what usually happens. I don't know, I guess it's me wanting to have control in what I'm creating. I just want to have structure, so everything just kind of has to be cohesive. So if you listen to albums like Children of Immigrants or Surrealism, you see that. Not only do you hear it, but you can see the structure even with the track list. What I would change in the music industry, I would change, you know what? I think one thing we have to rid from the music industry is people building relationships off of social status. I feel like that, one, it hurts certain people who don't know. It's a whole clicky type of thing, and I think that needs to rid because it kind of hurts. It hurts the creativity and the brilliance of music, where people just build relationships off of who they know when it should be based off kind of like the talent and the skill, and yeah.